Hello and welcome to this very special mapping it out extravaganza dungeon experience. My name is Guy, and of course joining me is Till.
Hi everyone.
And we're coming to you, hopefully you can hear us and see us, because that's important. We are coming to you from Till's very own gaming room. As you can see, it's spectacular. We've got a goblin on the camera. Thank you, Goblin, for operating everything. Everything seems good, says chat. That's great. My chat screen is over there. So please, 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 folks, this is an opportunity for you to ask questions of Till and the rest of the DungeonFog team. Your questions about the Battlemap editor, as well as later on in the show, DEIOS. If you are asking a question, please put the question in caps lock so that I can see it on the screen over there, because it's really.
You were saying teleprompter, right?
Yeah, teleprompter thing, absolutely.
We're super professional.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Till, before we jump into tonight's stream, where we're talking about some really, really exciting stuff, some demos of some cool stuff as well. We are coming here from your gaming room, and my first question to you is: when I look around, how do you use DungeonFog in your games? How do you use DungeonFog in your games?
Well, so we use DungeonFog through a projector that is up on the ceiling and is projecting the maps onto the table. Yes. And as you can see here behind me, I have all my minis here. So usually this is exactly how my players would see a game session. I'm sitting here, usually behind the GM screen. I have my laptop here, and then I bring my maps onto the projected playfield. For today, we tried to do it, but unfortunately technology is hating us. So you would just see flimmering.
Yes.
When it is projected onto the table. So instead we put another DungeonFog map that I made for actually a wedding game. It was a wedding gift to a friend of us to play on this map.
Lovely. Okay,
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, I also happened to catch a game with Till on Saturday. And yes, the projection is amazing. And if you didn't know how projectors work, they project 3 colors and they strobe across the 3, and cameras pick it up, but our eyes don't. So unfortunate. But anyway, okay, so we're going to be talking a little bit about how Till runs his games using DungeonFog and DEIOS tonight, as well as talking about the updates and patch notes and roadmaps and all that kind of really, really cool stuff. So
can I ask you a question quickly?
Yes, sure.
Why are you sitting here next to me? That is a rare occasion. I think we have never done a stream face to face. We've done it Zoom to Zoom.
Yeah? That's true. This is literally the first time. I have to say, I kind of like it.
Yeah, that's great.
Because I get to play games with you on the weekend, and then we do live streams.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. It's lovely being here in Vienna.
Yeah, I invited you over, and then COVID happened, and we all had to push back and push back and push back, and finally you made it. And Guy came over for a weekend to do a little bit of business, and then do gaming. We visited Vienna. We had a lot of lovely meals here from Heurigen, and what else? Oh, Plachuter. Thank you very much for that Tafelspitz.
Yeah, they did not pay us to say that. We paid them, and it was worth every penny. It was
worth
divine.
every penny.
Absolutely divine. And we climbed stairs of a cathedral.
Oh, right. We went up to Stephansdom, up to the top. I don't know whose stupid idea that was.
I like climbing cathedral towers. But what does that have to do with DungeonFog? Well, it's experience. It's learning. We ran around Vienna. We found all of the minis that the emperor used to use, the Emperor of Vienna.
True.
His were statues that were 6 foot tall and weighed a ton each. But we found NPC minis, we found hero minis, all in the statues on all of the buildings. And of course, you learn architecture, which is very useful when you are building battle maps.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And speaking of battle maps,
yes,
let's talk about battle maps. So that means, Till, remember, and all of you watching, please play a theme tune now. I love that. Absolutely love that. I hope your theme song was just as good. It's even better when you're sitting next to him watching him make these noises. So, right. Till, in terms of DungeonFog Battlemap Maker, what are we looking at in terms of there's an update that's happened?
Yes, so today we had an update that was prepped and planned long. And it has finally happened. We've moved our website to a new, faster server, and we've transitioned to we've updated all our databases and the code structure so that the website, which means your platform, the map search, the marketplace, your map section, all of that runs faster, and that actually is a step towards the next update that will be coming soon, which is the community hub. So that was a preparation update that we did, and you will notice, I hope you will, at least we did, that the website itself is running so much faster now, which is amazing. And with the next upcoming updates, we will then also tackle map loading and asset loading, because there is also things that we can do and that we're already planning. They just need to be finished before we can push them. But yeah, that's what happened today. And yeah.
Marketplace updates?
Oh, right. So that all of that is upcoming. Like between today and the next mapping it out, which will be at the end of May, there are a few things that are now being finished that we're going to push to the live service, which is bringing the marketplace from beta to the final release of the marketplace. Pardon me. And there is the community hub that is coming, but we will look at that in the next update.
Yeah, we're gonna
in the next mapping it out. And also the new asset picker that we've been working on that improves the asset loading and gives you way more faster access to your assets.
And that's just because there's so many more assets available now on the marketplace.
Yes, because with I think last week or the week before we had another few new packages, like asset packs that have been released by Forgotten Adventures, that have been released by Kiora, and they're piling up now. So we have, with counting the marketplace and our content subscription add-ons, we're now over 12 or 15,000 assets. So there is a need to improve the way that you can search them, find them, use them on your maps. And we knew that it was needed to do that update. So we spent some time thinking about what would be the best way to approach this. And again, this is being finished as we speak. I'm pretty sure that it will be released in the next couple of weeks. So when we have the next mapping it out, we can then actually go back and review what has happened and possibly what your feedback was and where we need to improve.
Absolutely. I'm super excited for that whole thing in terms of the prop packs and stuff. But as you say, more in May. Now, the game that you ran for us on Saturday, I must admit, I was so jealous because I'm running all my games online. So I'm using the DungeonFog map viewer, and I try and keep my maps small because sometimes load times are a bit of a thing, although that's going to change now with the server. But you had maps that were massive.
Yeah,
and beautiful. So I want to share with you some of the maps. So this is the first one that you had us crawling through. And that doesn't necessarily look very big, folks. But how many squares across is this? Do you remember? It must have been...
this one was, I think, 40 squares across.
40 squares. So 200 foot across. And we crawled through all kinds of things. That little bridge over the little thin stream. I remember we were walking up to that stream and one of the players, I think it was my partner, went, "Oh, I'm just going to hop across the stream." And I went, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa. Why would someone build a bridge over a 5 foot wide stream?" And so I just picked up a stone, and my character picked up a stone and chucked it across the river to see if there was any effect. There was no effect. So then, was it the bunny who hopped across?
Yes, there was a bunny who hopped across and got instantly snacked by
a giant tentacle root thing that shot out of the water. So that was brilliant. Did you plan on someone throwing a stone across, and how did you come up with that idea?
Yes, so I was, to be honest, I was hoping that no one would actually pay attention to the fact that there is a bridge across this, and everyone would just go and jump over it. But the way that I built the encounter, or technically it would have been a trap. The way that I built the trap was that it is actually reacting to body warmth. That is trying to cross the stream, and the bridge is actually enchanted to prevent that body warmth.
It was so cunning. I thought I was so smart. The bridge is going to be the only way to cross.
Perfect.
So anyway, that was a lot of fun. And then there was they weren't even spiders. They were like giant silkworms in the bottom right-hand side of the map. And then the map, as you can see, it goes out to the top. Now, we do have a question from someone whose name I cannot see from this distance, so I apologize. But a question from Twitch was, can you estimate how much time you spent on that map?
Yes, I can. Because I knew you were coming, I said, okay, I want to run a one-shot for you guys. And I started working on Tuesday, because Monday was a lot of internal planning for us. So on Tuesday I sat down and I did the bridge map. So the outside map, this cave map, a second cave map, and 2 temple maps. So 5 maps in total. I did all of them on Tuesday, starting from 2 p.m. I think until 10 p.m. So I would say approximately 2 hours per map. The reason why it was so fast is because a lot of that is done with the paths tool that has been released, and some of the prop templates that I had created from previous games, where I said, okay, I want to reuse that. So for example, the pond or the water drop that you can see where the river leads into, that is actually a template that I had done for another map and I just reused. So I was literally just clicking together the components that I needed to create this map. And I think I have another map prepared.
Yeah, but I'm going to save that. I'm going to save that map because I think we all agree they are stunning maps. We're going to talk a little bit more about DungeonFog, the Battlemap editor at the moment. So, Till, in terms of the version 3 deprecation.
Yes, right.
What is happening there? Talk to us about that.
It's not happening yet. It's just a reminder for those of you who are watching that this summer we will deprecate our version 3 maps. So for those of you who are familiar with DungeonFog, you know that you have maps that have the V5 tag, which is our actual version 5. So this is what we're currently running on. And then there might be still older maps that you've created 2 years ago that don't have that V5 tag to it. And that means those are old maps running on an old map editor system. And because of the things that we need to update and change over the course of the year, we've realized that it will be so much trouble for us to support V3 maps, V5 maps, and then possibly V6 maps that will be coming later this year. So we said, okay, now it is time to actually start deprecating the V3 maps. That doesn't mean that those maps will be lost. So that's important. They're not gone. It just means that if you're not manually updating, which means adjusting them and looking if they look fine, our system, our service will automatically upgrade them to V5. And because it's a computer that does that, it just does its best to convert the map into what we think it should look in V5. But it is an automated process, so we can't guarantee that brushes look the same and textures look exactly the same. And that's why we say, okay, if you have old V3 maps, now would be a good time to start looking at them and deciding whether or not you want to upgrade them to V5 manually, or you're just sitting away and say, let the system do it, then we will take care of it. But again, then this will be an automated process and the changes might be seeable on the map because brushes will be updated.
Makes sense. Makes sense. I do recommend that you update your maps. Don't let them fall behind. For my online games, oftentimes I need a map in the middle of a game, and then I just go to my old library, pull in the map, and I'm good to go.
Yes.
So don't let your old taverns fall by the wayside. Update them, bring them across, and you'll be cool. Till, did we have anything else to talk about in terms of user assets?
Oh yeah, right. Thank you. Part of the server updates that we're doing right now is we are transitioning all user updates, so all user assets, so all the assets that you have customly uploaded yourself. We're transitioning them now to the Amazon service, which will speed up the loading times for you to access those maps. And B, it will also just help us to have all the assets in one service. So again, we can distribute them differently. That is going to happen also as part of the updates in April and May. There's nothing for you to pay special attention to, apart from the fact that there might be another few maintenance downtimes that will be announced in time before they happen, because we need to shift all the assets that you have. And there are quite a few. If I remember correctly, it's 2 million or something like that, that we need to pull from the old server and transition them to the new server. So we will have a maintenance downtime for that eventually. When, I don't know, but it will be announced as always on time.
And that won't affect anyone's private uploads of tokens?
Well, ideally not.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yes.
So that's the goal, because we had two options. We said, okay, either we just wipe and we say, sorry, new system,
again.
please upload again, or we do our best to actually move them. And we decided for the second. And we said, okay, this is kind of what we want to do, is our service. We want to assist you there. So we are shifting them, and we hope that we're doing it right.
Fingers crossed, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we covered community pages. Those are going to happen.
They're going to happen, but again, this is a really big thing. So there's going to be big announcements about that. And now I don't want to show them, actually. I want to keep them, and I want to show them next mapping it out, because then we can review them all.
Yes, absolutely. And the prop picker, same thing?
Same thing.
All right. And so with that, let's talk about your favorite map from the Saturday session that we played.
Oh, yeah. That's why you kept it.
That's why I kept it.
Clever. Well, my favorite map was the temple map.
That's this one.
This one, exactly. It's just it's not the full map.
This is just a piece.
I cropped it. You can move it around. I think if you're capable of moving around the map in OBS, you can try so. But I would say this is the essential part of the map. This is where the story behind the whole one-shot was that there are two rivaling factions trying to get access to a temple that has been recently discovered. However, opening the gates to the temple actually lead to two different sections within the temple. One is dedicated to greed and envy and all the, let's say, lower feelings, and the other one was dedicated to wisdom and beauty. So if you enter this one and you actually decided to go there, then you find this rotten temple that's filled with slime and slime pools and really disgusting stuff. And I had a lot of fun designing it. Yeah.
My favorite part was the part that you can now see in the middle of your screen, this massive green sludge lake. Till had us walking down the corridor, and he says, right, you come across this green lake filled with slime, and there's a little ledge, but it is slippery. So my character tried to climb across, having tied himself, and slipped in. And then the same bunny character who had jumped into the river trap then went, oh, I can hop really far, I'll be fine, and promptly hopped into almost the middle of the slime lake because the rolls we had that evening were terrifying.
Yes, all the rolls were terrifying.
Yeah.
And so that one was, it was an amazing scene. Like we all had a lot of fun sitting at the table. I was soaked in sweat because I didn't know how I could bring you across that area because you were rolling so terribly that there was no, like, it was a really hard time to get you over there. But I think we managed quite nicely to finally bring you there.
It was absolutely a lot of fun. Okay, we've got another question here.
Yes.
So I'm going to. We've got a few questions actually. Hopefully we can get through them. What amount of dice does Till have in kilograms or pounds? How many dice do you have? You have lots.
Well, those are just the ones that I have nearby.
Beautiful dice.
Don't break your screen. I would say about 5 kilograms.
Yeah, of plastic.
Well, and metal dice and stone rock
Good
dice.
solid collection.
But I have quite a few.
Genuine question in terms of the whole DEIOS thing. DungeonFog Battlemap server transition. Are user upload assets into the maps they are used in denormalized?
Denormalized?
No, I'm sure it says denormalized. We're all looking at the screen, folks.
We're all trying to understand.
Really
can I quickly try something?
Yeah, sure.
Oh no, you can't make that bigger.
No, you can't make it bigger. Our user.
Wait, let me quickly put it here.
Yes, I was right. Our user uploaded assets denormalized into the maps, or they are used in.
So the answer is if we transition the assets from the old server or the old storing space into the new one, we are not changing the way that they are placed on the maps. So you don't have to replace them afterwards on your maps. The maps will update automatically and will find the same assets in the new space.
Okay. There we go.
I hope that answered your question.
Absolutely. All right. Well, that's pretty much it from Battle Maps.
For the Battlemap news.
We still have a lot of DEIOS stuff coming up, some very exciting DEIOS, and a demo of something that I think is going to blow your mind for DEIOS. I was certainly really, really happy with it. But before we leave DungeonFog, there are a few things, Battlemap editor, I should say, there are a few things that we still need to talk about. Principally, something that's coming up this coming weekend.
Yes, exactly. So this coming weekend, the Easter weekend, we are celebrating with you with a special occasion. We all know the Easter egg hunts, and I mean, we've all done Easter egg hunts. Mm-hmm. So we tried to do something else for you. Keep an eye out. This Friday, we will announce what exactly you will be searching. But I can already tell you, if you don't find them all, they will probably eat you. And we have a little teaser image for that, right? Don't we? Yeah. So there's going to be our Happy Easter Mimic Hunt. And all the details for that will be released this Friday. And there are a few prizes to win, and there are a few new props and assets to find. So keep an eye out for our Happy Easter Mimic Hunt. I hope you will enjoy it. I think it's going to be quite a lot of fun.
I have to say that is a terrifying bunny.
It is an absolutely terrifying, but I think it looks cool, right? It has some kind of the ugly feel where it's like
just chilling.
I'm going to eat you.
Absolutely. Another thing that's going to be happening
next week, yes.
Next week, that's right. Next week is something that you may already remember from last year, which was a lot of fun. Was a little bit of map making
competition,
battle madness. Mm-hmm. That's right. So if you don't remember, last year Till and I went head-to-head in a 3-hour map-making contest, to which you were the rightful winner with your gorgeous island map, and I was the absolutely not demanding a recount loser of that competition. Well, the new challenger...
The new challenger comes from the community, Lord God.
Absolutely.
He won the community contest. And he is now ready. He pumped the muscles. He ran the stairs. He trained the fingers for clicking.
I
don't know. So he is ready to challenge me for the title of the Fogmaster. And next week we will bring this into the arena, and we will see who is going to be the Fogmaster 2022, the winner of the next Map Battle Madness. And I am super excited.
Absolutely. Have a look at this. So, people might be wondering, there's no audio.
Well,
I know. Yeah. Yes, there we go. There is audio.
There's audio.
Yes. Yeah. You're not actually fighting a Muppet.
No, I'm not actually fighting a Muppet. We sat together today and prepped the stream and prepped the announcement. And I was a little bit too late on asking Lord God for a proper picture. We will update that, of course. But yeah, this is what's going to happen. And it is going to be next week, April 21st. It will start at, I think it's 6 p.m. UTC.
Yep.
And it will, again, take about 3 hours. And at the end, you as the community will vote on the winner map. And we will see, so it's up to you to decide who actually won that contest. For those of you who don't know how the contest works, Lord God and I will join the stream. You as our moderator, our referee.
I will be completely impartial.
Oh no, what have I done? You will present us with randomly rolled requirements for the map.
Correct. Randomly rolled and chosen for by you, the viewer.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And we will have 3 hours to make that map work with what you throw at us. Correct. We don't know all of those rolls at the beginning. So while we work on the map, I think every 30 minutes...
You get 5 additional things to add in as you're working on the basic map, which could range from add in aliens to add in traps to add in fluffy unicorns. It's really completely random. It's a lot of fun.
Yes, and we have to abide. We have to do that. And at the end, the map should have all of that in it. And you as the jury will then judge who made it, who actually
managed to include
the most of it and also make the map look cool.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
a lot of fun.
Yes. So that is going to be Thursday, 21st next week. And I'm looking forward to it. And then, of course, afterwards, we will run another community contest to see who then is going to challenge the next Fogmaster in 2023. Or possibly in fall 2022. We will see.
And then you can host it.
And then, hey, wait.
Right, that brings us to the end of our discussions on DungeonFog Battlemap Maker for this month. We will be back in May, at the end of May, in our usual slot as before. Sadly, I will be back in soggy England. You will be here in this wonderful place. But stay with us because quite literally we're going to go straight on to the DEIOS updates and the demo for DEIOS. So, yes, here we go. Are you ready?
I am ready.
You're ready. So am I. And hopefully, so is the software. No. Well, that's the map that's coming up.
I was just warming up for the sound.
I know. Okay, so stand by for the sound. And here we go. This time for real. There we go. There we go. He's much louder in real life than coming through your headphones, folks. Just putting it out there. Anyway, right, so we got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. Firstly, you should join the Discord community. Hopefully our wonderful moderators who I have seen in chat will post up the link to join that Discord, where you can engage with the programmers, you can vote on things, you can have discussions. Yes. There's just so much going on in there.
It's an amazing community. If you have any questions, if you need assistance, it's not only us who can help you, it's also a great community that takes the time and helps you. If you need to figure things out, you can post your maps there and get feedback on them. So yeah, join Discord. I think that is quite amazing.
Lovely. Okay, so Till, how are you going to be using DEIOS in your games? We saw how you used Battlemap Maker. How are you going to be using DEIOS?
Okay. Well, first of all, we are with my office game. We're running now a completely homebrew campaign. So I'm already using DEIOS to some extent to create the world map regions. And I will expand on that. The idea is that I can use DEIOS to create parts of the region, and then, the whole continent, but only draw parts of the region they're currently in. So as they explore, it grows and grows and grows and becomes bigger. When DEIOS is finished at the end, it will have a VTT kind of explore mode that I'm very much looking forward to have, so that you can track the route that the players are going and reveal bit by bit what they can see. However, there are already first kind of indications for where that road is going in our today's demo.
Right. Okay. I just heard some very, very, very alarming news. They're not hearing your sounds in the transitions.
Not at all.
But you're so lucky. So I know why. When we were setting up the stream, it's a new laptop.
You muted me every time.
Definitely not. Right, moving swiftly along. So let's talk the roadmap.
Yes, let's start with the roadmap.
Okay, great. So roadmap is we've got a better system. I'm going. The roadmap is down there somewhere. I actually saw it there. So there is the roadmap there.
Can I wait? Yeah, give me a second. I need to actually bring the roadmap for me here too. Okay, so looking at the roadmap, you can see that the native Mac OS ARM version is not being upcoming. We had to push that back a little bit. But we have finished our work on the databases and layers. So that is something that we will be looking at today.
Yeah.
And that is ready for, almost ready for patch. There are a few things that we need to kind of verify and test this week, but I'm confident that we will push that into the next update, and the next update will be either before or shortly after the Easter vacations. Advanced export is, we're going to talk about the export a little bit in a minute, but it's not being part of the next update, and we will talk about why in a minute. Prop selection is already done. Prop eraser is already done. So if you've missed our latest update, which was I think a week ago, then this is now available in our recent DEIOS build, which we will see today in the demo. And then tectonics we have, and in terms of UI, there are a few important things that we will have to tackle today when it comes to UI, because we made some changes to the way that you interact with DEIOS, and we will talk about why they're important and what that actually means. Yeah, I think that's roadmap. Yeah. So there we are. And
quick question from the audience is the ETA on the Mac OS ARM.
I can't give you an ETA at the moment. The reason for that is, to be honest, that is for those of you who know, is we have a team of Russian developers who are helping us. And under the current situation, which is terrible, and we all feel terribly sorry for what is going on, and we absolutely hate what is going on, but it also causes a little bit of well, crisis and difficulties in currently working on the project, because well, you all can imagine that our developers have a hard time, and so I can't actually say when it is coming. I just know that it has been worked on, and once we have the time, and once we have kind of found back into a normal, stable working environment, then we can actually talk about an ETA.
Absolutely. Okay, so before we do the demo of the layer system, and we talk about some changes as well that are going to be affecting you as you use DEIOS moving forward, Till, what is your favorite mini of all your 1,000?
Yeah, I think I can answer that. It is actually the first mini I've ever bought. And I instantly fell in love with it. I think it's the first mini that my players had to fight in one of the one-shots. And the big version is sitting here behind me. And the small version is always there waiting to be brought back. I think I can put it up front here. It's the Lich Beholder, the Undead Beholder. That is my absolutely favorite mini. But to be honest, there are so many. I really enjoyed Jubilex, the monster that I brought to you.
Oh my goodness, yes. That's right there in front of you, cameraman.
I don't know if you can actually catch it.
Can you lift it up? Just it's the big slimy thing. Watch what happens.
That one is also quite amazing.
That was terrifying to fight.
Yeah.
Just terrifying.
But there are so many. I can't really. It's hard to say.
Okay.
I would say from an emotional standpoint, the first one,
yes.
Of course.
Lovely. We've got a question here. Hello, the map you showed before about the temple. Do we need to buy any thing else other than the DungeonFog software itself to make something like that?
No, you don't have to buy. So the DungeonFog software is, first of all, it's online based. So all you need to do is sign up to the DungeonFog website and create an account there. And you can already work on your maps in a free account. However, the assets I used there are part of the content subscription. So if you sign up and if you get a premium subscription for, it's either, so there are different models you can use. It's $4.90 a month. If you have a monthly subscription, or it's $49.90 a year if you want to have a yearly subscription.
That's in dollars.
That's in dollars, yes. And if you want to just use on demand, you can. It's kind of a prepaid system where you can buy a month or a 3 month or 6 month of access. And there you go. Then you can already draw it. It's all. I did not use any marketplace assets for that.
Right. So, having spoken a little bit backwards about battle maps, but there we go. It's always good to know. Time for the demo.
Time for the demo. Let's switch.
This is where you get to look at the small screens. And so here we go. This is the layers demo.
Yes, go. Okay.
There we go.
So now I will have to take the mouse.
You're
now
driving.
Quickly lean over because now I'm looking here at the laptop.
So this is the current build of DEIOS that everyone has access to?
No. This is the because the layers haven't been released yet.
Okay.
So this is the demo build that I requested for today, where we can see how the layers work, and this will be brought to you with the next update, with the next patch that again is coming either this week or the week after.
Oh, okay. So within hopefully 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yes, somewhere there. So first of all, let's talk about the UI changes that we did to mouse interaction.
Yes, the mouse changes.
Yeah, that's important. So the first thing is if you want to pan the map, we previously had the right mouse button to pan the map. That's now shifted to the center mouse button. So if I want to pan the map, I actually have to press my center. I have to press my center mouse. That's where the scroll wheel sits and where you can scroll in, scroll out, and click pan the map.
Or spacebar.
Yes. So if you
Don't
don't
touch
have
it.
a middle mouse button, if you are a Mac user, for example.
But don't touch it now because you'll lock all of this.
Okay, I will not touch it then.
But yes, you can hold spacebar.
Yes, but you can press the space bar and then this will do the same thing. So why did we do that? Well, the reason for that is if we look at the new selection tools that we have, and that is here in the select, we can now have a single prop selection where I can just select a single prop and then I can move it. To move it, we've put the move function to the right mouse key. That makes it much easier to actually make sure that when you select something and you move it, you actually move that and not accidentally select another thing.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So selecting is left click. Let's do something here. I now have that mountain. Selecting is left click. Moving is right click. And that works flawless, I think. But there is another way to select stuff, and that is now the selection brush, which will allow me to draw a selection instead of the selection rectangle, which is actually quite useless for such organic maps. I can now use that to select things, and now again I can right click, move it, or I'm not sure if I can reach over, but I can Control Alt remove from my selection, or Control Shift add to my selection. So I can also change the size of my selection brush. So that is quite powerful.
Holding down the Shift key.
Yes,
scrolling with
and
the mouse
scrolling
wheel.
with the mouse wheel. Sorry, I should have said that. So that is what found its way into the latest patch already. You already have that. But the reason why that is important is, again, because we changed the way that the mouse works, and a lot of you might be confused because you're trying to pen and nothing happens. So keep in mind, you now use the space bar or the middle mouse key. You're trying to move things with the left mouse key and nothing happens. Well, you need to click and hold the right key, the right mouse key, to move stuff. But having this special selection now also allows us to actually group things on my map into what we call layers, or layer groups. So just quickly looking at them, we can see, and there you can see we still need to update a little bit on the designs. It's
The padlock is sitting underneath the eye.
yeah,
and you want it to move over.
it's fine tuning that needs to be done before we can hand it out. But what we can do is we can actually hide a section, so we can see that the weeping glades here are grouped. So I can click on it to have the full selection. I can show and hide it on my map, which is important for export and also interesting for later when you explore a map and you want to reveal bit by bit what the players can see. And of course I can lock them, which I think is pretty cool because now it gets grayed out, so that says you can't edit it anymore. You're not accidentally moving it here. And if I unlock it, it turns back. So if I decollapse it, I now see all these subsections that are in there. So I can say, oh, these are all the trees in here. These are all the plants in here, which is, for example, grass or bushes. All my formations, which are mountains, and all my structures, which are man-made structures, like the, let's zoom in a little bit and we can see it, which are the man-made structures like this little village down here, or the abandoned tower here. And I can now work with that, and I could say, okay, let's say that I just want to create a new grouping that deals with this area here below. So I select this area and I say, okay, I want to have that in my own group. I want to have that organized in my own group. So all I need to do is now I can right click and I can say create a new region, and I can name that, and I name that Lumber Jacks. Not sure if I typed it correctly. Okay. So now we can see that I have created a region out of that, and that is available to me now. I can hide it, I can show it, perfect. And we can see that I have different regions already created here. I think there is one.
Yeah, that's on the south.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry. I now.
You tried to right.
I tried to right click and move the map. So here we have another region.
Yeah.
And there's a lot you can do. So if we look at what we have here, working with those selections, I can deselect stuff. I can lock my selection. I can hide my selection. I can just remove the selection from my selection list here, or I can remove it together with the objects, which means that I'm actually cleaning up. I'm killing everything that I have there. And then I have the same things here on the right-click menu of all of that, where I can say delete the objects or create a new region out of that. Or, and that is interesting because I can actually say active region. And now when I draw, I will automatically be adding to that active region. And I can combine other things. Like I could go and say, okay, wait, this is my active region of the lumberjacks, but I actually forgot to add this part here. So now I can go and I can say add to active region. And when I reselect it, we will see that it is now grouped into the whole region. So the reason we did that, our intention behind that was that we don't think that a layer system per se, as you have it in Photoshop, is actually supporting your work as a cartographer. Whereas having complete freedom over your own grouping, yeah, is super helpful, because now I could go in and I could say, okay, right, I want to lock all the trees in here. I don't want to mess with them. But now I want to select only, I now want to select only this mountain, and I actually want to shift it here. But because now I've locked the trees, it's much easier for me to actually grab all the mountains in there and then modify them. So having this list that actually can be extended quite thoroughly.
Literally, I just want this particular tree type.
Tree type, exactly. Yes. You can't go down to the single tree, because that with a million trees, that doesn't make sense. But you can go down to the tree type or mountain type or structure type or plant type. So we've created categories, groupings for that.
And those groupings are automatic. So it's not like you have to assign the tower to the structure group.
No, that is automatic. That is reading, that is being read from the system. And there is eventually a way where you can create your own groupings or taggings, exactly, through a keyword and tag system where you can expand on that.
That's right. And it will update that structure as well, depending on if you add something. When you did a demo to me this afternoon, when you added in a beast, it adds that to the
list. So if
in Weeping Glades, for example,
in Weeping Forest, or here,
Weeping Glades.
Yeah, Weeping Glades. Okay, so if I have that active, I can go and I can say, okay, let's just do an aqueduct.
Because that's to be a structure. So
let's do. Do you want the behemoth?
Yeah.
Okay, let's add the behemoth to it. Let's say the behemoth is living.
Watch the left-hand side, folks.
Oh, right. Sorry, I was watching my left hand. That is actually my left hand. Okay, so when you look at the list here now, you would see the second I click, it's added. So now we have the creature in here. And selecting the Weeping Glade will automatically also select the creature, or I can just select the single creature. And again, I could say remove from the selection, which would actually just remove it from here. It doesn't remove it from the map. It's just not part of that selection anymore.
Correct. And you wouldn't be able to find it in the layer groupings because it isn't yet grouped.
Yeah, because you have to create the grouping yourself.
Yes.
But again, I can just go in. I have it already selected, and I can say add to active region, and it should appear, but it didn't. I don't know. I can't see it.
Well, this is why it's still in development, and it'll be with the new patch shortly. Let's try that one again. Nope.
That's right. It's not.
No.
Well, that's why we.
And yet it's selecting it.
Yeah. Well, maybe it was just not updating properly.
Yeah. Okay. So there are a couple questions, quite a few questions that have actually come through.
Okay. Let's go through the questions.
Very good questions too. So the first question is, Does the selection brush supersede the rectangle selection? Does it make it redundant? But I think you've shown us already that it doesn't. Because you brushed the forest and then you changed the rectangle selection tool just to select all of the mountains once you had locked the lumberjacks area.
Oh, so wait, the rectangle selection.
So does the brush?
No, yeah, but the rectangle selection actually is that one.
Yes, and it's still useful.
It is useful. I think it is useful if you want to select wider regions, if you want to select land masses. We're not getting rid of it. But actually, to be honest, we did have that discussion where we said, well, do we still need it? And we said, well, let's keep it. That's why it's alpha. That's why your feedback is valuable. Because if you feel like, well, that's useless, we don't need that anymore, then we can get rid of it. If you give us the feedback that you still like it and you prefer a rectangle selection, well, then we will keep it.
Next question is, when you create a new region, do the items remain in their previous regions? That was a question I asked you actually when you showed me this. So if you created a new region, would you be able to move those trees to the new region, and would it stay in its layout, or what would happen?
Yeah. So if I remember correctly, and to be honest, I haven't tested it yet in our current test build. So the question I think is, I have this one, and I want to create a new region out of that. And this is, let's call that, just for simplicity, let's call it region A, right? So this is region A. Now, what if I want to create a new region only out of those where those share the same region, and I call them create new region B. So I can now either select region A and region B, which means that one asset can actually be part of different regions or different selections. And I hope that is what you've asked, because there could be a second interpretation. That's what you wanted to know today. And that is, what if let's go here. What if I create one landmass and then a second landmass, and let's place a few behemoths here. And I place a behemoth here, and I place a behemoth there. So because they are part of the landmass, if I move the landmass, they move along, and if I move that landmass, they also move along, because they're still parented. But if I But if I have both of them in a group, so I go now and I say, okay, create a new region out of that, and that is monsters. Sorry.
Okay.
C would have been good. Yeah. Now, if I move the grouping, well, of course, because it's a selection, it's a grouped selection, I move them. So we actually paid attention to what are you trying to do? Are you trying to shift the landmass? Then we honor the parenting of the landmass. Or are you trying to do something with the monsters group, because that now the group is selected? So we're trying to honor that you're trying to do something with that here.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Okay. Are those objects still part of the glades, or do they get hang on, when you create a new region, do they remain? I think this is just the same thing. I think. Is there an option to duplicate your regions, so that these groupings that you've made, so you duplicate the assets? So you
yes, I understand. It's not there yet, because we were for now we were just trying to work everything out from the UI perspective of actually managing existing groups and the group thing. But yes, to go there and say, okay, I want this. I'm super proud of the way that I've created those mountains, and I want to actually duplicate them and place them here. That comes with the whole process of copy pasting, because we've already started working on a clipboard where you can copy things to the clipboard and paste them somewhere else. And your copy paste is actually based on your selection. So the answer is, once we have the copy paste, it is kind of for free that you can select this and go like duplicate or copy paste, and you have that. That's the whole thing now copied over into a second instance.
Lovely. And I think a couple of folks have asked questions which we've already answered. So if you feel that we haven't answered the question, please ask it again, and then I will come through and ask that question again. But one last question here is, I see there's some rivers. Is that a hint of a river system, or?
It's not. Well, I did the rivers with the landmass tool for now, but there is a river system planned right now, and I think we're going to talk a little bit about roadmap and upcoming things. Right now, we need to finish two things before we go into the rivers tool. Probably three things, which is. Well, we need to finish a lot of things.
One element of surprise, two elements, three elements, four elements of surprise, the four elements.
Oh, no. So we still, I hate the fact that we still haven't done export yet, right? And we just discovered that now that with the layer system being really powerful, with all the new selection and edit mode features that we have in there, the right click is actually going to open a whole new universe of options that we can add. Now that we have the right click to everything here, we realized that we actually, before we can hand out the export, we should probably start thinking about protecting the software to some extent, because the exe file at the moment is just shareable. You can share it around. So we are now working on authentication, which means that if you, and that's, I think for all of you, that isn't a big thing. It just means that the software will ask you to log in with your DEIOS account, and then you can access the software. But it actually means that we now have a minimum of protection behind our intellectual property here. Once we have the authentication, then we can hand out the export, because at that point the software is in a good state. Following that, we have the clipboard, we have some other things with the ARM stuff. We have the rivers, which are coming up. There are tectonics where we want to do updates with, and then the biome. So there's a lot to do, but in terms of what are we going to tackle next, I'm not really sure if it's going to be rivers directly, or if it's probably a mix of tectonics and first biomes and then rivers, because you can to some extent do rivers now with the landmass tool.
Oh, absolutely, already. Absolutely. I mean, my trick when I'm doing rivers is I make the delete landmass tool, the negative tool.
Yeah, and then just call it. Yeah.
I make that the smallest size, and I trace out the river, and then I double the size, and I start halfway down the river, and then I quadruple the size, and I start halway down the halfway. So you're getting a thickening river.
The reason why we pushed back the rivers a little bit was because of the tectonics too.
Yeah, which is going to change a bit.
Is that we suddenly have height information on a landmass that would actually allow us to trace natural river paths based on the tectonical system. So there you see, rivers are coming, yes, but it's not a hint of something that's coming very soon.
Another question. Oh, there's a few questions still. The question is, how much influence in terms of delay do you think the entire Russian thing is causing?
Yes. So I don't know. The thing is, we've been very supportive with our team. We gave them time to cope with the situation. They're not happy with what's going on. We're all not happy with it. And some of our programmers decided that they actually want to leave the country and start working from somewhere else. So we've been helping them to either get to bring them here to Austria or help them to get somewhere else to work from there. I do think that now we already have established quite a good working routine where we found back to at least some normality. But things might change. So it's at this point of time, it's really hard to say. All I can say is that I'm really proud of my team, because with all the crisis going on, they still were. They were coming to me and say, we want to work on the project. We want to continue working. Please excuse that things are hectic at the moment. And please excuse that we are also in a bad mental state at the moment, because we're not really happy with what our country is doing to their neighbors. But we want to try to keep up normality and work with you and continue working with it. So all I can do from my perspective is I can say, yes, you have 100% support from us. Tell me what you need and I will do my best to help you. And timelines and pressure is definitely not something that is in the highest priority at the moment, I would say.
But progress is still being made.
Yes, of course. I mean, look at the layers. It's and to be fair, I understand. I think it was Andre telling me that he said, look, it's such a stress to read news every day and to be actually confronted with all of that, that it helps to get your mind off working on something that kind of drags you away from the problems. So I think that is good.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Now, we are also looking, and you were talking about exporting. What's happening there?
What's happening at exporting? Well, the rendering part of exporting is at least prepared. So we did some updates and changes to the way that we can read the stage and prepare it for export. The thing that's missing is the UI. So once we have that, we can actually finish the export, and I think we will do it in the same approach that we did all the other tools. For now, is there will be a minimalistic version of the export, which is even more than the export button does right now, because that just does a screenshot, which will allow you to select a specific region or area of the map and create an image out of that. And then once that is working and established, we will move deeper into the export, where we think about adding filters and color styles to your export, giving you more options to define. The layer system is important for the export because it actually allows you to define on export which objects do you want to have on the map. Do you want to have the labels on the map? Do you want to have the colors on the map? Do you want to have the props on the map? And that will be provided through an export user interface that says, okay, here's the region that you've selected. What do you want to show in that region?
Fantastic. And then also adding to layers, are we going to see things like political borders,
Yes.
Secret notes maybe?
Yes, and that is yes. There's not much to say, but yes. It's coming. We know that we want to have political borders. We also know that we want to have a way to use probably the layers. I know that this has been a discussion that was going on, whether or not the layers are actually the right fit for it, or whether or not the right-click menu is the better fit for it, where you say, okay, bring to front, where you can actually override the rendering order. So if you want to have a dragon that is flying here over the mountains, you have to bring it to front somehow.
Right.
And initially we thought we could use the layers for that, but now there is actually an ongoing team discussion whether or not we can do this through the right-click menu. Yeah.
Lovely. Right-click all the way.
Right-click all the way. Yeah.
All the way. Folks, this kind of brings us to pretty much the end of today's very special broadcast from Till's gaming room. That wasn't supposed to happen. I just picked the mouse up. I swear I didn't do it. So yes, that's it from us. We've got a few little announcements. If you didn't catch it at the beginning of the show or at the middle of the show, 21st of April, you will be facing
Lord God in the Battle Madness. Then we have the Easter Mimic Search, which is upcoming this week, this Friday.
That's right.
The next Mapping It Out will be at our regular time, which will be at the end of May. Yes, there you go. And the only thing from my side that's left is now, if you could please post a thumb up or thumb down, whether or not I should be chaining Guy to this dungeon to have him here forever.
This was not in the script. Oh my goodness. Well, to be perfectly honest with you, I could think of worse places to be trapped. Absolutely. So, yes.
We will feed you with Heurigen food.
Yeah, so this is a thumbs up on me being trapped in here, and then I will just tell the Austrian government, sorry, I have to stay. I don't have a choice. So, yes, just a reminder, join that Discord community so you can interact and learn even more, and also find support if you are using DEIOS, and if you have issues or questions. The Discord community is definitely one.
Also, if we missed a question today, because it's really hard to read them from over there. If you feel like your question got ignored, just post it to Discord. I will do my best to answer them.
Okay, lovely. And yes, so that's it then. What a wonderful space to have been in. And thank you all for your wonderful questions tonight. I think there were lots of very good questions. Definitely lots of excitement for the DEIOS system. Hopefully that patch will be coming out soon. And yes, until then, I think.
Yeah, thank you very much. Guy, thank you for being here. It was a pleasure to have you here in real life.
Thank you for having me.
And as always, thank you very much for moderation.
My pleasure.
You, dear camera goblin, thank you very much for helping us today. There's a thumbs up here.
Up from the camera
and yeah, guys, have a great one. See you soon. And as always, happy
map making.
There you go.
And I cannot read where the text is. It's so small. There we go. And look, thanks for watching.
Yep.